Good morning and happy Monday to you. Welcome into the show. I'm your host, Monica Adams, and you are tuned in to The Real Monica Adams Show. It is not anywhere near as bad as it was last week, Monday. This is when we were talking about all the ice and the snow. In fact, we haven't been in studio because of that. A lot of you dealing with the ice and the snow. It is extremely cold, though, this morning, so you could have some refreezing. One of the things I was paying attention to as I was driving in this morning was patches of black ice, and they are out there. So be careful as you're driving, as you're coming around ramps, you're going on the exit and entrance ramps and around turns, as well as watch your footing as you're heading out to your car. Just a nice little advice here that we're giving to you as you're heading out this morning. We are going to get into weather with our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore, in just a second. We'll give you a full rundown of some news we think you can use. And boy, do we have a fun kicker story. With all the snow that's still out there, everyone of every age is enjoying it. And we'll talk more about that. And then my true passion is dance. For any of you that know me and know my parents were champion swing and jitterbug dancers. So I grew up around the love of dance. I fell in love with it. So today I'm going to have so much fun with this one. And I hope you are as well. If you currently are dancing, maybe you're being brought back to having taken dance classes when you were younger, or you have always wanted to learn this dance or that dance. Today we've got the woman for you, Carmen Guynn. She's with Almas Ritmo Dance Company. And at the end of this month, we're going to go to her dance studio. I want you to come along with us. Again, don't be shy. Don't think that other people are judging you. Learn the love of dance and why we all like to do the movement so much. We're going to talk about how the love of dance for her also led her to acting. So many things to talk about as we get into our fun dance segment in just a bit. All right, let's get into our What the Weather segment with our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore.
Good afternoon and welcome back into this new More Weather Forecast video. Have a great day, St. Louis. Stay prepared out there.
And he keeps you prepared and abreast of everything that's happening in weather. Good morning, Beckett.
Good morning. How was your weekend?
It was good. How was yours?
Good.
Yeah, everybody's still out there sledding. I saw the kids. We were driving home yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. They're all bundled up, still out there sledding. People going to Hidden Valley for skiing. Again, it's still out there. And I was just mentioning the possibility of some black ice. So it's cold this morning. Are some people in the single digits?
No, but we are in the teens throughout the area.
Yeah, the wind chill. I mean, the wind chill is what's making it feel like that this morning. So I'm going to let Becky give you the forecast and then let us know if there's any mention of that white snuff anywhere near the next several days.
All right, will do. So looking at the current conditions right now, it is very cold out there. If you're going to head out this morning, make sure to grab a heavy jacket. 17 degrees, dew point at 5, very dry, very cold air in the St. Louis area right now. Looking at the hour-by-hour forecast, we do warm up into the mid-20s, but that's it. Not going to get much higher than that with a high of around 25 today towards this afternoon. And then looking at tonight's forecast, 24 at 5 with sunny skies, but then dropping back into the teens even by 8 p.m. and then by 10 p.m. getting towards 17. Tomorrow's forecast, mostly cloudy in the morning, but should get more sunshine moving into the afternoon, warming up a bit more as we get towards 30 degrees for our high tomorrow. And then finally, looking at the 7-day outlook, again, 25 is your high today here in St. Louis. Sunny skies, low of 17 tonight. Tomorrow, again, warming up to around 30. Wednesday, around 30 as well. All of this sunshine, so even though it's not going to be above freezing, still going to see some melting, but refreezing during the nighttime hours. And then looking through midweek towards later into this week, Thursday 44, Friday 49, getting up to 50. So a lot of melting snow Thursday, Friday, chance of rain on Friday. And then heading into next weekend, early next week, we're going to have another big Arctic blast of cold air coming in.
So does that mean snow?
No, not necessarily. It's
Good.
Mainly just going to be cold. I don't see many snow chances coming up.
Okay, and let me ask this, because I know some meteorologists in town are calling for the possibility of that Saturday to maybe not be rain. It could be snow. What would be the scenario to make that happen?
You could see, so the low Friday night is 33, so we wouldn't see snow if that were to happen, but if you get that maybe a little bit lower to 32 or 31, could see some snow Friday night.
Okay, very good. And obviously, Beckett keeps an eye on all of that for us. Be sure to follow him on X and YouTube for all the latest throughout the week until we talk to him again on Friday. Before you go, let me ask you this, because I have a feeling I know the answer. Do you dance?
No.
Would you ever want to learn?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, I've seen you all dressed up and you've gone to dances before. Do you not dance? Do you sit on the sidelines?
No, yeah, no.
Look, I'm making embarrassed. All right, well, we're going to talk about dance today. And I just remember when I was in high school, all the boys used to sit on the side, all the girls would dance together. And then all of a sudden there was a little shift in that. So I'll be asking the woman that we're having on today, Carmen, if in fact she sees that same thing happening again. So be sure to watch this. I have a feeling that at some point you're going to want to dance, Beckett.
All right, sounds good.
All right, I'll let you go. Beckett Moore again, our aspiring meteorologist, making him turn red this morning. Thank you so much, Beckett. We're going to get into some news you can use, and we're going to stay with the weather theme. The wind is going to cause some major problems yet again today. We've all been following the devastation out of Los Angeles, and the death toll, unfortunately, continuing to rise, and the wind continuing to create problems for the firefighters. So we'll get into this story first. If you've been following this, you know that in Los Angeles, it's the Palisades fire that we first paid attention to. Again, the death toll rising now to 24, and the cost to the area right now in the billions. Unfortunately, cadaver dogs are still going through and finding areas where they think investigators are saying that they may be finding other bodies, so that death toll could possibly continue to rise. But it's the injuries, the death toll, the evacuation, the devastation, the cost, and the eventual rebuilding. So we'll continue to follow that story for you and bring you the latest. Also today, Mike Kehoe being sworn in as our next governor here in the state of Missouri. The schedule was announced for the governor-elect. Today is Inauguration Day for Missouri's 58th governor. The day begins at 9 o'clock with the Salute to Heroes event. It concludes after the 7 p.m. inaugural ball. Kehoe, by the way, won the Republican nomination for governor back in August of last year, just edging out Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft and State Senator Bill Eigel. On the agenda is to have the state take control of the St. Louis Police Department, as of course, along with many other things, but that was one of the top things as he comes into office. Okay, how many of you or your kids use TikTok? We've been talking about this for the last few years now. Now it's coming in closer and closer for a possible ban. Will it happen? I don't know. A lot of people are saying they'll take it all the way down to the wire. The U.S. Supreme Court judges, they are deliberating whether they're going to uphold a law that forces the short-form video app's Chinese owner, ByteDance, to divest or shut down by January 19th, though, coming up this weekend. The ban focuses on the theory that China might use the app to manipulate U.S. users. The company's lawyers are arguing TikTok's right to free speech being unduly squashed. If the law is allowed to run its course, one potential outcome is that TikTok goes dark in the United States. This would probably happen, of course, over time. You know, your app is not just going to completely disappear this weekend. For now, ByteDance does not want to sell. If the shutdown really looms, it might change its mind. Perhaps the owner of Facebook, banned in China since 2009. That would be a possible person that could take it over, Mark Zuckerberg. I've also heard Elon Musk, and I've even heard President-elect Donald Trump saying that he may take it over. Well, this is a really cool story that's in the news today, and it has a tie to our area. A very rare and well-preserved medal is up for auction, and this is back from the 1904 Olympics. The 1904 Olympic fans will soon have a chance to own a piece of history. This gold medal was awarded to American Fred Schul after he won the 110-meter hurdle. The medal is suspended from its original blue, white, red, and gold ribbon with a gold clasp. And according to RR Auction, the 1904 Olympics marked the first time gold, silver, and bronze medals were awarded to the top three finishers. The games were held right here in St. Louis, which also also marked the first time the Olympics were held outside of Europe. Bidding is scheduled to end on January 16th, and the last I heard, I think it was nearing 160,000. All right, this caught my attention today. How many of you have gone to Tony's? The new Tony's. My mom took me to the one down on Market Street back when I was in my 20s. I have not been again, and I kept saying I want to get in. Well, evidently you and me and anybody else that's wanted to experience Tony's better do it quickly because it's closing. They moved, obviously, from Market into Clayton, a beautiful restaurant. The restaurant with the long history is closing its doors in February. Tony's in Clayton will close February 15th, and it's already booked salads for its finale and the day prior, which of course is Valentine's Day. The business was a longtime fixture downtown. They moved to Clayton back in 2021. The eatery features classic Italian dishes and a fine dining setting. And you can get more information, by the way, on their business website. But that one was surprising to me. That's unfortunate, actually. And it sounds like they might already be booked up. We might not be able to get a seat before they close their doors. Well, we're going to keep with the food theme, and this one has a tie to Mizzou. You like spicy queso? Well, you'll be wanting to look on your store shelves very soon for a different spicy queso that is coming, and it has a tie to that man right there. That's Mizzou basketball forward Mark Mitchell. He's seen lighting up the Mizzou Arena, and now he can be seen on a shelf near you. He partnered with Haystack Sourcing Solutions to introduce a new Mizzou-themed snack for Tiger fans, Mark Mitchell's Spicy Queso Hoops. And after the Tigers captured back-to-back SEC wins, they are continuing to say, hey, this maybe gave him his rise to fame. So he is, again, going to be on the front of that, and he is not the only one. There are more and more players that are coming out getting their own snacks with the NIL. St. Louis Blues fans, your Blues are back in action at home tomorrow night on the ice at the Enterprise Center. They will be playing the Calgary Flames. The face-off for that is at 7 p.m. And if you're a soccer fan like me, St. Louis City SC releasing their 25 preseason schedule features camps in Florida and California. They kick off the preseason with the mandatory start date, which is today in St. Louis before they fly out to Florida on January 20th. They play 2 matches during their stay in Florida from the 20th to the 29th, facing off against New England Revolution on the 25th and then the New York Red Bulls on January 29th. All right, before we get into talking about dancing, I bet you they were boogieing a little bit on the slopes. Well, their version of the slopes. This is my favorite story that has ever been sent to me, and I want to thank the lady that sent it, Mary. I'm not going to butcher her last name. It might be Benoist or Benoit. I don't know, Mary. I don't want to butcher your name. Let's just say Mary. Mary, thank you for alerting me to this story. Take a look at this. How much fun are they having here? Isn't this cool? This is at the Meridian Village, a Lutheran senior services community, which is in Glen Carbon, Illinois. They said, we embraced the winter snow. We took our spirited residents out for a fun-filled sledding adventure. No matter your age, there's always room for laughter and joy in the snow. Seeing the smiles, hearing the cheering, feeling the excitement in the air reminds us that age is just a number. That lady on the left was one of my favorites. Just, you can see the pure joy in her. Fun is for everyone. And here's to making memories to the ladies and the gentlemen at Meridian Village, enjoying nature's beauty and staying so very young at heart. You got to love that. So again, next time you've got, or really, I guess I should say right now, because the snow's still out there. I saw my brother and sister-in-law took my great niece and great nephew out. So they're grandparents, but they're younger grandparents. You can tell those are some of our older grandparents truly enjoying their time on the snow. Thank you so much, Mary, for sending that. And anybody else that wants to give us these fun, feel-good kicker stories, send them to me, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Or if you're on Instagram or X or maybe Facebook, you can shoot those to me in a direct message as well, and we'll put them on The Real Monica Adams Show. All right, we're going to take our break. We're going to talk about dance. You know I'm going to be smiling during this entire segment today. Can't wait for you to be introduced to Carmen Guynn. First of all, she's just going to light up the screen. She has this infectious smile and wonderful energy. Listen in for Dance Today, and I saw one of you say, how about line dancing? Yes, whatever the dance is, fall in love with it and teach the kids like Beckett at a young age so they fall in love as well. Carmen will be in the blue chair when we return.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
This is my wonderful role model, one of my best friends.
She's, oh my gosh, you got a long life. You could probably live to be 130 or something. And I said, oh God, I hope not.
It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes.
I'm not going to take off my clothes. On the radio tape, going to
Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come. We're gonna speak. We're not gonna spank anybody. We're gonna speak about knowing your value, and then I'm gonna.
I'm going to spank them.
If you don't know your value and you don't grab hold of how important you are, I'm gonna spank you. Folks, you never know what you're gonna get with her. And welcome back. Again, thanks for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. Now, text your family, your friends, give them a call, shoot them an email. If they can't watch live, make sure that they watch this later. Share this with them on all the major platforms, wherever you are watching this morning. Looking at some of the comments, yes, Jill says Beckett needs some moves. He's got none. That's okay. When they're 15, 14-year-old boys, right? Even 16, start to get maybe, I think, around 17, 18. We'll find out what Carmen says. Julie says, guys that dance are awesome. Agreed. I'm going to tell you that was one of the biggest things for me, which is funny, which if you know the story between me and Jim, he left me on the dance floor when we dated the first time around. And then the second part, I said, oh, Jim 2.0 dances, evidently. Let me introduce my guest, Carmen Guynn. Again, we've been talking about her dance company. I'm going to let you say it because I'm going to hear you roll your tongue.
Almas del Ritmo dance company.
Listen to that. Yes. It is so good to see you.
Good to see you. So happy to be here.
Boys, what is the deal? Why don't they want to dance?
You know, the younger age, they don't want to dance because it's, girl, boy thing. But then once they meet somebody that they're interested in, they want to know how to dance. But then it's kind of funny because it's such a lead. The lead has to know so much.
Yes.
So I think that's also the reason why they get a little nervous. Because,
a lot of pressure?
Yes, there's a lot of pressure to get that thing right.
It's just funny. So I look back, and obviously you've been involved in dance for a long time. So let's talk about how it's evolved and then went stagnant and then evolved again. But I think back to my parents, right? So my parents' age, that's what they did. Everybody danced back then. So my mom grew up in for Beckett's age, she would have been in the 50s, I guess. So she was born in the late 30s. But my mom talks about how that's what everybody did, that everybody went dancing every single night. So the boys weren't necessarily scared and sitting on the sidelines back then. What do you think made them stand out and feel powerful about that? And then when did it go away? And has it ever kind of like went up and down and up and down?
I believe it has. I think back then it was just a group of community. And so, parents did things together, families did things together, communities did things together back then. And so it was different. And now as it evolved, kids got social media, they got, video games. There's so many other things that they can kind of spread into, which to me actually caused a disconnect.
Yep.
As far as communication. So, so dance is, I think what we're doing now is we're trying to find a way to bring people back together.
Well, you mentioned social media. Again, if you're just tuning in, Carmen Guynn is my guest. We're talking about the possible ban of TikTok, which if you think about the origins of TikTok, it's these short videos. And when it first came out, all I ever heard was everybody was doing dance, right? No matter whether it was a boy or a girl, everybody was dancing, or there were cat videos and dog videos. Those were the biggest things at TikTok. And they might have been dancing.
Right.
We were dancing with our animals.
Yeah.
But I think for people, maybe getting the confidence that they would see other friends doing these quick little challenges and dance videos, and then they were doing them. So that maybe that brought it back, do you think?
I feel like that brought it back, and I feel that it empowered people as well to be able to move how they want to move. And we're at such an age where we are allowing expression. And so people want to see more of that. Right. And if they see someone do it, they're like, okay, well, maybe I could just, do my shoulders, do something, and just feel free to move. And so I do believe that has helped.
It has, and I think one of the things that I always heard from guys is that, and you tell me, because you're the one teaching them, do they come to you and say, I want to learn because I feel like people are judging me on the dance floor?
They usually want to learn because they've met someone. That when I get the information from the guys, or sometimes their girlfriend or their wives would drag them into dance, but they do it because they want to impress them, right?
Come with me. We do that, don't we, ladies?
Yeah. So a lot of times I'll see more women in my dance classes than I see men, but when they get it, they get it.
Yes.
And they're good.
Now, what I always heard guys say, okay, I might be able to learn waltz, or I can do that. But my husband, when he took lessons with me, when we got to swing, which I love so much, he's like, I don't know if I like that one. There's too many things for me to remember. And then when it comes into like salsa and bachata and things like in the Latin dance, he's like, I don't get, how do your hips move like that? Now, let me ask you that. That's a really powerful question. If someone doesn't have the natural hip rhythm, can that be taught?
It can be.
See?
It can
My
be.
husband says no. You're wrong.
So it can be taught. It can be taught, yeah.
So, but how long would it take?
As long as you are willing to really practice at it. I mean, because a lot of times people are not used to moving certain body motions or doing shoulder rolls. You're not maybe used to doing that.
Right.
And so it may take practice to do that, until your muscles, until you get comfortable moving that way.
It feels foreign to them.
It feels foreign, yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about your beginning. So when were you first introduced to dance? Were you one of the little girls like me that was in dance when you were young?
You know what? It's so funny you say that because I did not want to dance when I was young. My mother put me in dance class, and me and my younger sister, and my sister went all the time, but my stomach was always hurting every time we were going to go to class. I don't know what my problem was, but I didn't want to dance. But it wasn't until I got into college that I minored in dance, and kind of to redeem myself from not wanting to go to dance class. But that's when I took I started taking an interest in dance in general. And once I graduated from college, started going out, and that's when I was introduced into the Latin dancing. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is where I want to be.
Oh, I love Latin style dance. All of you that are watching, let us know, what form of dance do you like? Somebody said something about line dancing, please. Do you do line dancing at your studio?
Several line dancing, yeah. Yeah, we do that.
Right, well, there's so many versions of that. Like, I would always hear line dancing connected more to country, but then it's evolved. I mean, you look at the evolution of dance, right?
Yes.
That's changed so much. Jill, tell us what kind of line dancing you like, by the way. So you minored in dance, and then when did you first really get into wanting to compete?
Really right after. Just really when I got introduced into Latin dance, and this is when I'm like, this is great. But it wasn't a lot going on in St. Louis. I went to Webster University, so there wasn't a lot of Latin style dancing here. And I got a lot of my training in New York, a lot of my training in LA, Miami, went to Puerto Rico, just to get an understanding. And I'm like, I really love this style. And so from there, we went into learning to get trained to teach, and then eventually forming dance groups, and then starting to do performances and competing in different places. So yeah.
Well, and by the way, and look at that. I mean, come on, you got to stretch a little bit before you get into that move.
That is the world. Abel Pena, who's out of LA, he is the world champion in salsa. So yeah.
Again, people look at that and they're like, I don't know if my body bends like that. That's like Gumby. Again, this is what we're showing you today that you could possibly do one day. And I think people look at that and go, there's no way. there's no way I can do that. You can't do it immediately, but that's no different than someone sitting on a couch and then all of a sudden
Absolutely.
thinking they can go run a marathon.
You no way you could do that,
Right.
right? You definitely work at it. Anything that you want to do, you work at it to make it better.
Well, and you and I talked several months ago about all these New Year's resolutions, and I heard a story this morning as I was coming in talking about how we are now 13 days into the month and people are already breaking their New Year's resolutions.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, come on, let it stick this year. Or if one of them has fallen off, maybe it is going to the gym and you don't want to go to the gym anymore. So then it becomes, all right, maybe I need to pick up a new passion project, or you reintroduce yourself to an old hobby. How many people come to you right now to say, all right, I want to learn dance as a New Year's resolution?
Yeah, I get it often.
Yeah.
That's like I think that's up there with the fitness goals a little bit sometimes, because it does get you moving.
Right.
And dance just makes you happy. You want a new fresh start for the new year, and dancing just does something to you when just does something to your spirit. So
It does.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
You laugh a lot with it, and you really do have to humble yourself and laugh. No one's laughing at you. We're laughing with you because we're all learning together.
I always say that the dance studio is a lab. My undergrad degree is in biology. My life is everywhere. Engineer, biology, dance. But I was in the lab all the time in college. And so I use the dance studio as the lab. This is where we practice. This is where we learn. There's no judgment here.
Right.
And sometimes they'll look at the student or the instructor and they're like, oh my God, I can't do what you do. Well, I've been doing this for like 20 some odd years. Okay.
Thank
No, you won't be able to do it.
Yeah, right. If you can immediately, boy, I'm a good dance instructor.
Right. Well, I'm going to have you teach it because
Exactly.
you're really good. I'm trying to learn that.
No, I'm glad you said that, though. It's a good point. Again, Carmen Guynn is my guest. We're talking about dance, and we're hoping to get you involved in something we're going to do later this month where we'll broadcast live from her dance studio, showcase the dance studio, and then hope some of you are able to come and learn right after. We'll have a little dance party afterwards. But I'm so glad you said that because people will say the same thing to me. I'll show them a move in personal training, and they're like, yeah, yours looks like this, ours looks like this. And I said, you shouldn't be able to do what I've been doing this for 26 years. Yeah. It's trying to get people to rep and stop comparing themselves right?
You can't compare. You're on a divine assignment, and so you can't compare yourself with anybody. There's no one like you.
Right.
And we're not all supposed to be great at the same thing.
No.
That's why we have each other to share.
And Carmen, the perfectionism mentality is such a dangerous thing in life. And I'm sure they do it in dance as well. Yes. This person is over here learning and they're better than us.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So how much percentage do you do more one-on-one or a couple with you as opposed to full classes?
Yeah, we do more full classes. We see more of those. But we do have people that want to say, hey, I really want to hone in on this skill or do I want to learn this particular spin. How do I learn on my spin technique, or how do I work on my footwork? So every once in a while, a lot of times we'll get private lessons for people who really want to hone in on those skills. But a lot of people like the community of being with a group and having group lessons and all.
Absolutely. I mean, you go with girlfriends or couples. There you are doing your thing with a little shoulder roll.
The shoulder roll, yeah.
Carmen, also, by the way, you've seen in some of those pictures, hopefully you recognize one of our former guests that we had on. When did you meet Mauricio?
That is such an amazing story. We met like 3 years ago, and he just moved to St. Louis from Miami. Mm-hmm. And there's a face group with all the dancers that are on there, and he just kind of clicked on and said, hey, I'm new in St. Louis, and kind of talking. And so I responded, and then we just had almost like a 2-hour conversation about dance and everything. And I'm like, well, if you're interested in coming by the studio, let's work on some stuff. And so we did that, and we said, okay, well, let's work on a routine or something together. We started doing that. We ended up in Stage's production of In the Heights. So it was just it was just a whirlwind of how we started.
He's so talented. He's talented.
He's
there
amazing.
You go, right there. Mauricio Villanueva Espinosa. He came in and played for us and is just an incredible musician. When we found him, I had no idea he was a dancer.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, this guy is very, very talented from a performer standpoint, and had no idea the range that he had. So look him up, by the way, if you haven't been following him. But these two dance together, compete together, etc. You also put on some really amazing events, one coming up in October, her. We're going to talk about that. And then how also the dance has led to other aspects, acting. I mean, it really does open the field for so much. You just, if you dream it, right, go after it and empower yourself. I also want to talk about the confidence aspect that happens when someone starts to go through lessons. And then Carmen brought up a good point that if people are traveling, they come to her because they want to learn certain moves for where they're going. We'll talk about that. Again, more with Carmen Guynn on The Real Monica Adams Show. Don't go anywhere.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
Welcome back. It is 7:31. If you're just tuning in, great timing because we're talking all things dance with our guest, Carmen Guynn. Again, Almas del Ritmo Dance Company. By the way, let's give you all the information of where they are located. So it's 3515 Park Avenue, and you can email if you want, info adrdancestl@gmail.com if you have any questions for them. Or you can go online to her website and follow also on Facebook, Instagram, and X. ADRdancestl.com. Again, ADRdancestl.com. Where did the name come from, by the way, Carmen?
Yeah, Almas del Ritmo means rhythm soul.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, in Spanish, and so just the way the beat of the music is, and just how it really impacts your spirit. That's how I came up with the name.
For all of you that have never really been introduced to dance before, I hope that you find your way to what I feel when I watch dance. I literally could watch dance videos, I'm sure you're the same way, all day long, and I get head to toe chills, and I'm just like, the beauty and the story that's told. And that's the thing, we all go and see a great performance at the Fox or the musical or stages that you've been involved in, and you get moved by the voice or the story, but dance does that same thing. You're watching a story play out through the solo dancer or the couple dancing. It's beautiful. It's a language we all can learn.
Yeah, it is.
I hope.
It is because we just talk about, just think about how babies, you turn music on and they just start bouncing. But that's telling a story. That's telling something that they're excited or happy about. And any movement, even if it's just tapping your foot, if you're not a dancer, it's something that you're feeling and you're expressing. So it's just being able to learn how to enjoy yourself and enjoy the music and enjoy the people around you.
Well, and you just brought up babies. I wish that more people would go back and maybe look at old videos or have their parents remind them, look, like these boys that are scared to do so. When you're in diapers, all of a sudden you're moving, and sometimes I look and I'm like, how are those babies moving like that? Whoa, that's not right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, some of them are really, really moving. You're right.
And you're like, where did they learn that? I don't know. What are you doing at home? Let's look. Some of you are asking questions and making comments. Jill said, I told myself I was going to learn salsa when I was in my 20s, but I am in Beckett's camp. # no moves. So then how about you bring Beckett along with you? Okay, she said country. Joe said, I took ballroom dance in college. Swing was my favorite. Nice. Waltz, foxtrot, rumba, cha-cha, and a few more. Look at you, Joe.
Right,
I didn't know that. Way to go. Jill says, more dance and community, less social media. Social only for watching Monica, she says. Again, there's a lot of great things that come out of social media. I know it gets a bad rep sometimes, but there's a lot that can be done. So let's talk about what dance can do for you. Confidence.
Yes.
Right? So in the beginning, I think a lot of people probably walk into you and feel like, I'm so lost. But how long till you see that confidence change?
Honestly, within like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what I really try to create is like I said, this is the lab, an open atmosphere where it's not non-judgmental, and just you're here. You wanted to start something new. Be confident and be happy with, even if you just learn the basic move today. That's good.
Do you stay with a certain form of dance even though the partner might want to learn something else if you can tell that they're getting frustrated and they feel like, okay, wow, I did really good with waltz, but now I'm struggling with this and I can't get the foot movements down, just to help boost their confidence?
Sometimes it really depends on what their goal is. And then I'll try to, if they're feeling frustrated about it, I always try to find a way to explain it or to teach it so that we get an understanding.
Yeah.
So I really talk to everyone about, let's find out what your dance goals are, and then let's go from there. And then if we have to pause here, we'll come back around to it. We'll do something else and come back around to it. But let's stay on the path. And
again, any of you that you might have weddings coming up, a lot of people do their first dances, right? And then others might be the guests that are going to go there and think, oh, let me brush up on some things. But you mentioned something that I had not thought about, which is how many people are coming to you to learn to dance by where they're going on vacation?
Absolutely. I get that often. Like summer vacations. Oh, I'm going to Puerto Rico or I'm going to Mexico and I want to learn how to dance when we get on the resort. And so we get plenty of those, yes.
Right, I didn't even think about that. Again, I mean, I just love to dance, so I'll just be like, okay, yes. But if someone's going to a region where a specific style of dance is there and they're completely lost. I learned the wobble, by the way, in Mexico. We were on a boat, and everybody was dressed so beautifully. They were all in white. And I was like, they must be going to a wedding. And so they came over, and they're like, girl, you want to learn the wobble? I'm like, I do. But that's that open-minded, right? I didn't know. Again, yes, I know styles of dance, but I didn't know that. So you just laugh at yourself. Was I able to do it as good as they? No, but we had fun together.
Had fun.
And we made new friends, and they invited us to their wedding. You never know.
You never know.
Right?
You
Again,
never know.
Gaining the confidence. You mentioned how it could be hand in hand with these New Year's resolutions with regards to fitness. Yes, you need to put a watch on, one of those Apple Watches or the Fitbits or whatever. How many calories would you say somebody can burn in dance in an hour?
Yeah, at least 2,000-3,000.
Oh my!
If you like, I would especially in my back in the day. I mean, I danced for hours straight, and so if you're dancing for about an hour or so, and it's song after song after song, yeah,
it's exhausting.
Burn some calories.
You have to build up that endurance. Though. You're not going to be able to do it immediately.
Not immediately, but yeah, you can burn quite a bit.
There, you know, Carmen, there used to be, and I wish they would bring it back. There was a big dance event that was all for women, and it was put on by St. Luke's, and it was around February. Do you remember this?
Yes, I remember that. I forget the name of it, but I remember that.
It was the St. Luke's Day of Dance.
Yes.
I used to MC that, and then they had all of these different dance instructors that would come in, and it was a way for, again, I think it was one of my favorite things that I've ever done in my career is watch all these ladies, and I mean hundreds were there, just packed in, and you could see that some people had been in years past, and they knew these instructors, and they would dance, and they would know it. Others were brand new, and I do mean all shapes and sizes, no judgment, right? It was like no judgment whatsoever. Everyone laughing, and then looking over left and right like, oh, okay. Or it was the offering of, oh, girl, here, this is how you do this, right? Because you get a little lost when you're trying to watch when there's that many people. But again, laughter and incredible exercise. I wore that, and I burned 5,200 calories by the time it was done. I'm like, I didn't know this was possible.
Yes. Because you get it, like we said, we talked about it being happy, excitement, that all. You add more energy into it. It's almost like doing a performance. And of course you give it your all, whether you have one person in the audience or 1,000. Yeah. But when you start hearing people cheer for you, you start to really get into it. And so you're burning more calories, you're exerting more energy. So it plays a huge role in it. Yeah, the endorphins come up, those happy hormones are there. Yeah. It's just like you just said, as people say your name, like, go Carmen, go Carmen. And all of a sudden you're boosted up like, oh, am I doing good here? It's like when you're, like, all of you that run and you have your name on the back of, whatever you're wearing, and you have these people on the sidelines that cheer you on. Suddenly you have this boost to be able to go faster and get to the finish line quicker. So the same thing will happen. Again, I'm hoping that I get across today that is what dance is about. People really, truly are out there to lift each other up. It's really one of the most beautiful communities that I've ever seen. I always say that there's two things that connects people and really just solidifies them and connects them. It's food and dancing. It doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter what gender you are, your age. Food and dancing connects us all together.
and you need food as fuel to dance. Don't eat anything really heavy because then you'll be like, okay, so the need for Latin dance. You had mentioned in your social media that you were going to talk about different aspects of what we know in dance. So more of a Afro-infused style. How does it differ from like just regular salsa?
So the roots of salsa is from Africa, and many people don't know that.
I didn't.
And so when I really started studying dance, studying Latin dance, I'm a history buff, so I really like to know why. I always feel like you have to understand the purpose of why you do things. So when I started digging into it, I learned the history behind salsa, cha-cha-cha, tango, waltz, all of those dances. The root of it is African rhythms. So the congas, the tumbales, all of those come from that. So that whole
come on, girl, let's dance.
That's all, and the movements. Wawakos, all of these movements are from African rhythms. And so the hips moving the way they do, and even certain steps, they all derive from that. And of course, everything branches off into its own thing, because there's also instruments from the big band orchestra, especially when we started talking about the New York swing of salsa. But it's all connected. So I love to teach that so that people understand the rhythms behind some of the music that they hear, or even some of the vocals behind the salsa music, and why do they say certain things. But a lot of it's rooted from the African rhythms and African culture.
I love that. I did not know that. I just love to dance, but I'm just out there. But when we are learning where did it come from, it really does connect everybody. Yeah. And it doesn't matter age, it doesn't matter race, it doesn't matter size. That's the thing about, I hope you all understand that if you've never introduced yourself, maybe this is the community that was waiting there for you and you feel lost. Yes, come on. In fact, let's talk about that. We want you to come at the end of the month. So I've been posting over the last week or so about a dance party, right? It's more so that we're going to do the live broadcast. We're going to get a chance to see her dance studio in person. And then some of our friends and family have said, well, I want to come, but which day did you choose on? We're still allowing you to pick. It's looking like it's leaning towards Thursday or Friday. Okay. I had picked, I thought Friday, but then somebody asked me 2 days ago, but if you flip it to Thursday, I'm like, come on. Trying to please everyone. It's a hard thing to do. So I'm going to leave it till today. By the end of today, I'm going to post tonight what day. So it's either going to be the 30th or the 31st. You tell us, which day would you like for us to have it? And we're going to talk about doing the broadcast at 5 p.m. and then at 6 p.m. have an opportunity, like you're seeing in these pictures, to begin to learn. And some of you might come there and have some background. Maybe you took lessons in the past. Maybe you haven't danced since you were a little kid and mom and dad put you into tap. And that's what I did, right?
That's what happened to me.
Ballet.
Didn't really want to do that.
But if we're going to do this, how would that all play out? So are you going to just kind of do some introductory steps to different types of dance, or what's your plan for that night?
Yeah, so the first hour we'll talk about the different dances. Salsa, there's bachata, cha-cha-cha, merengue, just so that you know what they are and how to move to them and know what music to listen to and hear. Because I get that question a lot too.
Yes.
Like, well, how do I know if I'm dancing to salsa? How do I know if I'm dancing to merengue? And I'll talk about what instruments to kind of listen to so that you'll know. And then the next hour we'll do a salsa lesson.
Salsa, okay, beautiful. That is absolutely correct. I have a friend who, in the competitions that I've done, I've been like, oh, I really love this song. I'm drawn to this song. But what is the dance? And then sometimes it's like, is it this? And then you get excited. There's another form of confidence when you're like, oh, I'm right. Okay, good. This is a waltz, or this is a foxtrot, or this is that. But yes, they are the pros. We leave it to them to teach us and to just humble yourself. That's the biggest thing. I'm going to take another quick break. When we come back, talking more about dance. And if you have any questions, okay, somebody just said Friday. Will you let us know? Whoever wants to show up the most, I'm going to dedicate it to you. So I think Julie had said Friday. There was a guy named Ron that said Friday. Okay. My brother and sister-in-law who have taken dance lessons in the past, they're like, yeah, we'll come to that. My mom, who I want you to meet, she was, to me, that was my role model of being an incredible swing and jitterbug dancer. There's some deep roots here in our area to swing. The Club Imperial that everybody used to go to.
That.
Do they still have the Latin Club down in the Central West West End?
Club Viva.
That's still
I
there?
used to be an instructor there years ago.
And it is still open?
It's still there. It's
Okay,
still there and
I
open,
went
yeah.
there, was introduced when I was in my 20s, so I love to hear that. A lot of people like to go to Casa Loma Ballroom once
Yes.
they brush up on things. But as far as a dance studio for you to learn, I want you to go to our friend Carmen's. Again, support those that support us and come at the end of the month. Okay, it's leaning towards Friday.
Okay, Friday.
I'll let you know.
Friday party.
Friday party.
We'll see.
All right, we'll take a quick break. More with Carmen when we return.
She's got $8,700. You're going to win that.
See, just like that, you hear our intro music, and how do you not move? I have a hard time sitting still. If you're just tuning in, Carmen Guynn is my guest, and I want you to go to her dance studio. Again, if you've been thinking about introducing yourself to dance, why not go to hers? Almas del Ritmo?
Yes.
That's close.
That was
She rolls her
perfect.
tongue.
That was perfect.
Again, located on Park. What are you near on Park?
St. Louis University and like Cardinal Glennon, so it's not
okay.
far from there.
So 3515 Park Avenue. And what is your best social media for them to follow you on?
The Instagram.
Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay, look at that, girl. You look beautiful. Look at that. Be part of the family. Facebook, as well as Instagram and X that they're on. The website, adrdancestl.com. Okay, you have also been opened up to a whole nother field, though. When did dance suddenly transition to acting for you?
Oh, wow. That is such an amazing thing. Most dancers focus so much on that, and they don't focus on either acting or singing, for that matter. But I saw that the production of In the Heights was going to be at Stages, St. Louis. So I said I owe it to myself to audition for it. And I'm like, but I don't sing, but I know the story and I dance. So I went to the audition and they liked what they saw. And when I went to sing, I was like, well, I don't sing. But, you know, and Luis Salgado, who was the director at the time, he's like, well, just give me an ah. And so I said, ah. And
I've got something to build off of.
it's like, okay, cool. And so that evening I got the call that I was part of the cast. And I knew Mauricio was going to make it anyway because he was a singer. And I told him, I said, like, if you audition, I want you to audition with me. I know you probably got a sure in. I don't know about me so much. But yeah, it opened up that door. And then the executive producer of Stages was like, well, you know what, you can sing, you just don't realize that you can sing, and offered me lessons.
Oh,
And
wow.
so now I sing.
Girl, so unbelievably talented.
Which led me into the production of The Color Purple.
Color Purple.
Yeah, so I played one of the church ladies in The Color Purple. They're in the back behind the...
What a magnificent thing to watch
Yeah.
live. Now, a lot of you probably have seen the movie, but there's just such a difference when you see live theater. You've got to be introduced to it. And I know everyone's always like, well, which one should I start with? Just start with one, and then don't give up. If it's one that you're like, okay, that didn't really do it for me, just keep going. I love parents, though, that introduce to their kids the arts at a young age.
Yes.
And then hopefully it takes on, or maybe you realize that your parents did, and you just have to find your way back.
Yeah.
I love the arts.
Yeah.
Just on so many levels. So now you sing, and you dance, and she's in engineering. I mean,
Yeah.
your story is
That's a
unbelievable.
whole- yeah.
You also have a very strong faith, which I love.
Yes.
Right? And that's a big part of our show, and the way we wrap up the show here in about 10 minutes or so, we read these devotionals. But how has faith played into your artistic life?
Oh, wow. I recognize it as a gift that God has given. And with that gift, I'm supposed to share his word and share who he is. And so that has been always the key number one thing for me. I ask for wisdom about what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And it just led me to be bold into speaking with people. I remember being at Club Viva and praying with people in the bathroom over situations, or inviting people to come to service with me. Teaching even in my class, we sometimes it's not even the class. Sometimes it's just us having a conversation about God, or having a conversation about what we need to believe God for. Yeah. So your talents, you have them, but God has something planned for them.
Amen.
And so, yeah, it's
boldly walk there, right? Boldly. It is. We were talking about this over the weekend, and speaking of TikTok and all these social media channels, all these younger TikTok users, as well as on Instagram, they're posting all of these high-end athletes and celebrities that are no longer holding back and professing their faith and not apologizing or keeping it quiet to themselves. It really is a beautiful movement that I'm seeing over probably the last 6 months or so. Everywhere I'm turning.
I love it. I love it. We're allowed to express however we want to express, but I'm so happy to see that this part of our expression of who we are in Christ being shown, and not being afraid to say it and do it. Yeah.
Yes. Shout it. Somebody asked me one time, Carmen, do you think you'll have to apologize for the end of the show when you do the devotional? I'm like, apologize? I'm going to shout it loudly. Yeah. I'm just hoping it helps heal whatever it is that's inside of you that feels so lost.
Absolutely.
Right? That's really what we're trying to do. So if you're new to the show, welcome aboard, by the way. It's all about positivity and hope and light and introduction to new things. You've got an event coming up in October that I want to talk about. So tell us a little bit about this.
Yes, the St. Louis International Salsa Bachata Congress. We've been doing this for about 14 years now. Wow. I knew that something, and this event is all over the United States and internationally. And I first went to it in Chicago almost 20 some odd years ago, and I said, St. Louis needs this. We need to have the Latin culture and the Afro-Latin culture here, and people never really knew that we danced or that the culture was here, and so I felt like that was important to bring that. And so we bring dancers from all over the United States, dancers here, instructors here, big workshop during the day for 2 days, and then the evening is like a Las Vegas style showcase. I cannot explain. It's something that you have to see, because these dancers come and they are just phenomenal dancers. And then after that dance showcase is a social dance all the way to almost like 3 a.m. They enjoy it. They dance that much. And then they start back up again.
And then your dogs are barking, meaning your feet, right? Your dogs are barking.
Yes. They start back up again the next morning and do workshops, and then another show in the evening, which is fantastic. And some people are like, well, I don't want to do the workshops, but you can come enjoy the show.
Right.
Because I bring awareness to, my platform, even in the studio and throughout, is to bring awareness to human trafficking. And so, in the entertainment, what are some of the red flags that go up in entertainment? And I feel like I'm part of entertainment in some way. And what are some things that we could be looking out for through our travel, through just everyday walk, to be aware of the young women and young men who are caught in trafficking.
And we'll stay on that for a second. Suburbs, rural towns, cities, it can happen to anyone, no matter the race, no matter the age, no matter the gender. I just got a chill when I said this. It's interesting. We're going to go more in depth into this, and it didn't happen this way. Maybe this is. We always say God has quite a role in this. It's going to happen, I think, the way he wanted it to. So we're introducing you right now. There's a national human trafficking hotline. I actually have a guest that's going to be in studio with us on Thursday that's coming to town, and there is a talk that you all can go to. We'll tell you more about this. He is the author of a book. It's called Vegas Concierge, and you're going to want to listen to this for sure, because you're so passionate about helping in this. The thing is, there is an author event. Let me pull it up since I have it here in front of me. It's on January 16th that will be held at the J, and it's, again, dealing with sex trafficking, hip-hop, and corruption in America and our streets, and a community that's failing.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because there's a lot of it that he talks about that's in Vegas. And I said, but can we tie it into,
it's right
again, as you
here.
just showed, rural areas? It's happening everywhere.
We're a major hub. St. Louis
Yes.
is a major hub.
I know.
And you know, the more that we know and know where it's happening and know the red flags, the more that we can own up to seeking help for anyone or just ourselves or our family members. This month is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and so that's awesome. So I will be watching.
That's going to be Thursday.
on
Thursday at 7 a.m. Yes, looking forward to having him on. He is the author, again, Vegas Concierge, Sex Trafficking, Hip Hop, and Corruption in America. His name is Brian Joseph. So that'll be coming up on Thursday. It will be a really powerful interview that you will not want to miss. Okay, one more time. We are going to give you all the information to follow our wonderful guest, Carmen, on social media, on her website, where she's located, as well as coming to our big, fun dance party at the end of the month. So Instagram would be the best. Also, though, on Facebook and
Facebook
X.
too.
But website, adrdancestl.com. Be a part of the family. Start to introduce yourself. Maybe make it a family affair. Get the kids involved, parents, grandparents. Everybody laughs together. 3515 Park Avenue. We're going to take the show on the road and do a mobile Monica from her dance company, again, on the 30th or the 31st. Let me see if anybody else weighed in. I just want to know what day you would like for us to be there. Oh, Dot says, oh gosh, I love this so much. I don't have time, but my hips are shaking listening to you too. Oh, she says Thursday, please. See? Thursday, please, for me and my friend Jen. Well, maybe we have to do two. Maybe we have to do two shows. Good morning. Happy sunny Monday to you as well, Diane. Thanks for watching. Okay, so if you watch this later, weigh in because we're trying to pick a day of what makes the most sense. Is it Thursday or is it Friday? Either way, if you can't come to ours, then just reach out to her and say, yes, I want to learn. I'm going on vacation. A lot of people just got engaged around the holidays.
Yeah.
So now they'll be knocking on her door saying, oh my gosh, there's a first dance.
Do first dances, daddy-daughter dances. We get
Valentine's.
mother-son. Get quite a few of those.
Again, and I would love for the younger generation to learn so that the boys get some confidence to ask the girls to dance at their homecoming and their proms.
Yes.
And what do they call it now? It used to be switch dance.
Sadie Hawkins?
Sadie Hawkins, I know it was forever ago. Is it back to Sadie Hawkins again?
I don't know. I'm old school too. So
Just learning dance. And again, once you learn one and you feel like you've gotten really good at it, open yourself up to something else. There's so much out there. She's listed some I've never even heard of. That makes me excited to come dance again. I told you, I hope you had a lot of fun with us. And the aspect for all of you that are giving up on your gym memberships and saying, this isn't for me anymore, this is boring, it's not what I thought it was going to be. You can drop some serious weight when you dance. And you stick with it.
And it's good if you don't like to work out. You know, that I'm not saying don't work out because you need to, but if you gotta move, then this is a great way to do it.
Well, suddenly it is you working out and it's hidden within
That,
fun.
yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're like, oh my gosh, this is a workout. It is a workout, but you're enjoying it. And you go to the sideline, get some water, and then come back and dance. It's also interesting, though. You look at the roots of working out and music and how many cardio classes, right?
Yeah.
You go back to the old step classes and then everything that's still out there and how it evolves. Maybe that's how you introduce yourself. And then you go and you do your own dance. Let me ask this before we wrap up. What has been your absolute favorite first dance that you have ever helped, like maybe choreograph or teach to somebody for their wedding?
Oh wow! It actually was a dad and daughter first dance.
Oh really?
And it was beautiful because the father wasn't able to hear.
Oh.
So being able to translate the music and getting them to understand and getting them to feel it through the floor, and it was just the most beautiful thing in the world to see.
No, I was going to say, you're about ready to make me cry. It reminded me of some of the things that you see play out on Dancing with the Stars or some of the other dance shows that are out there. The one guy that didn't have an arm and didn't have a leg, I can't remember his name, darn it, but Sharna was his dance instructor on there. And it was just absolutely beautiful. So when you give up on yourself and say, I can't do this, just look at that. There is a actor that's blind that was on there. And people were just like, or as you said, that are deaf. And people sit there and go, they count them out, right? They're like, well, how could they possibly? It's
it makes
trust.
you want to keep trust, and you just want to keep going because we can do it. We can do anything that we really want to do.
We can do hard things.
Yeah, we can do. I love that. We can do hard things.
You almost made me cry because I didn't get a dance with this. Oh, here, let me pull it over. I did not get to do the daddy-daughter dance at our wedding. Instead, but I danced with my mother. So a dear friend of mine choreographed a dance for my mother and I to do the mother-daughter dance, and it was absolutely beautiful. And this picture that you see behind us is not a staged shot. That is literally in the middle of me turning her.
I love that.
Right? There's so much. So think about those things. If you, like me, are going into getting married and you don't have your daddy or you don't have your mom, like the mother-son and the father-daughter dance, if you don't have that, switch it and dance with your mom or dance with your dad, right? And I love the ones, are they still doing the mashups where you think it's going to be a slow dance and then it turns into something else? That's still out there?
That's a
still
huge
big?
hit. That is a huge hit.
Because I have a feeling, knowing how much of a ham my dad was, that's what ours would have been.
Yeah, it will start into something and then it'll hit off into a salsa or just, I mean, it's amazing.
What about what do they call them? Like
the flash mobs?
Yeah. Are those still out there or is that
I don't see as much, but if you want to throw it out there, I'm all for it.
Let's do a flash mob. Hey, all right, she and I are going to talk. All of a sudden, all the Monica's maniacs out there that you call yourself, suddenly we show up somewhere.
Yeah.
And we take over and do a flash mob. You are the best. Again, we will let you know by the end of today whether we're going to pick the 30th, which is a Thursday, or the 31st, which is a Friday. I'm just going to let the majority rule, okay? So let me know either I have an event out there right now that you can look for on my page, my Monica Adams business page. Click that you're going, and then I'll know that we have that many people that are coming to it. For those of you that have marked interested, switch that to going for me, and then the majority will win. Thank you so much. Again, can't wait to be in your home and have you teach us a little bit more about all the different dance styles that are out there, as well as then get a chance to learn a little salsa from her. Okay, so we do our devotionals. 100 Days to Freedom. What color would you like to pick? Pick, excuse me.
Ooh, that's right. I think I'm going to go with purple.
Everybody picks purple.
Really?
It makes me laugh.
That's our
All
colors.
Right. We will take our break, and when we come back, our friend Stephen Arterburn provides these to us. 100 Days to Freedom from Fear and Anxiety. It's a good one, right? Anxious about learning how to dance, fearful that people will judge you. It doesn't happen. We'll see if God's funny, because he is. Every time we do this, somehow it's tied in. It'll be funny if this one has to do with dance in any way. We'll do that when we return.
One of our things we always say is we want everybody to leave with a smile.
Oh, and trust me, they do. I've seen a lot of smiles here today. There's so many levels of why you would love these ladies, but giving back to the community, supporting the community, collaborating with other businesses.
Base pace. Now we give parameters here. Power walkers generally use incline. Yeah, I know.
Go, girls, go!
Because you're not only getting some great local roasted coffee, you're getting good people.
Good people is what it's about. And by the way, that person who turned up their nose, karma is that you know what.
Everyone needs to be kind. And it starts really with the adults. And then it goes down because we're the ones that are instilling this in our children, in our families, and everything thereafter.
We are live on location. And this is a really cool thing. This is exactly what we can do from your business. We call it Mobile Monica. You know I'm always on the move. Yeah, so let us know if you want us to bring the show like we're going to do for Carmen to your business or your event or festival. Start thinking spring and summer and even early fall. We can start booking those out right now. info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Okay, so this is called The Blessing. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. That's Numbers 6, verses 24 to 26. So when you feel troubled and apprehensive, do you long for reassurance that God is with you? Do you feel alone in your struggles? That can intensify the feeling. The presence of God is sometimes difficult to perceive when other feelings overwhelm our thoughts. Our concerns, our cares tend to become the only presence that we sense, and they consume our days and nights. The truth is that God is always with you. The challenge is for you to be aware of that truth. Anxious thoughts, they're like spinning wheels of death. When your device is searching for connection, they spin and spin the worries and cares we carry, preventing connection and rest that we need. Apprehension sets in as what ifs. They take over our minds. At such times, it's imperative to seek the Lord and pray for a sense of his presence and his peace. God is always with you, even though you may be walking through a difficult season, or if it feels like your whole life's been challenging. God loves and cares for you. In the book of Numbers, God instructs Moses to have Aaron bless the Israelites with the words at the top of the page. They are a beautiful reminder of the blessing of God's presence. Those words I told you at the beginning. These ancient words still hold truth and meaning for your life today. Despite the challenges of life, we can experience the blessing of God each and every day. So commit this passage to memory. Repeat it often as a reminder of the blessing of the Lord on your life. In your brokenness and imperfection, God whispers 3 words: you are mine. And here's today's prayer. Thank you, Lord, for your presence in my life. Strengthen and comfort me with the knowledge that you are always with me. I receive your blessing as a precious gift to be opened each morning. You know, one of the things that I did, one of my New Year's resolutions, was to take prayer in an even deeper level. I don't know if you do this, Carmen, but I would normally pray before I would go to bed, or I'd pray in the morning, but I was still lying down. I now get out of bed and hit my knees. And I actually started going and doing this and just opening up, and the sun's been just like on my face, and it was just a whole nother level of where you connect with him. If you don't do that, if you haven't, maybe try it. If it doesn't feel like it's connecting with you, that's fine. Just like when sometimes we were at church yesterday and the lady said, if you feel comfortable, and I love that she said that, hold your hand up like this over the new pastor that they were having. And I heard my husband go, nope. And I was like, right. See, it's for some people, this feels foreign to do, or this feels foreign to do. So never feel like someone's forcing you to do something. And we're not forcing you to dance. We're just asking you to maybe introduce yourself to it. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
If you had your choice, would you want it to be on a Thursday or Friday? Our big dance party.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter because we can party any day to me.
Till 3 in the morning, evidently. All right, well, we will let you know. Keep an eye to my page. Later this evening, I will make the announcement of when our dance party is, because we've just got to pick a day and get it out there. I gave you a few more opportunities this morning, and it's still mixed, whether you want it Thursday or Friday. We'll find out, and we'll let you know later this evening. Thank you all so much. Again, dream big. Know that you can be anything you want to be. Before you're anything, then, be kind. God bless you all. Have a good day.